Hi. So today I wanted to show you a quick little activity that you can do with something that you probably already have in your house right now. And so that's creating your own puzzle. I love puzzles to do with kids because they work on a lot of different skills, especially if you make your own puzzle, you're going to work on even more skills. We're looking at visual motor skills. So being able to that eye-hand coordination, figuring out where pieces go and putting them in the right spots. And then those fine motor skills, being able to control our hands to put the pieces where they go. We're also, if we make the puzzle ourselves, we're going to work on some hand strength. So some of the only things that you'll need for like the basic activity of this is a food box of some kind and a pair of scissors. If you want, you can add to this activity by creating an image on the inside of your or the other side of your box, and then you end up with like a two-sided puzzle. So more bang for your buck. So the first thing you're going to do, you're just going to pick which side of your box that you want. I'm going to go, this is just an old Pop-Tart box that I had, and I am going to just cut. So this is the part that mom or dad, grandma, whoever, you probably want to do yourself because we're kind of cutting, or if you have older siblings and you want them to be able to help out, make this like a group kind of activity, you could do that too. So here I've just cut the front of my box off. This is the only part I need. I'm going to cut off this extra flap. Okay. So there we go. You have just the simple image. Now, what you could also do, I was looking for some markers, you could draw a picture on the back. So like if I were to take this pen, now of course you could let your child, draw whatever picture they would want. So I'm just going to draw real quick. So here I have just like a flower and the sun. And so I've got kind of two puzzles in one. So I can either put this side together, or if you don't like this side, then you've got a good canvas for kind of creating your own picture. So there are different ways that you can cut your picture into different pieces. One of the easiest ways is to just do straight lines, cutting just straight up and down. Now, this is something that you could potentially get your child to do. They could cut the pieces into strips and then put those pieces together. You could also let them just kind of go to town and cut, whatever kind of pieces that they like. If we're working with younger kids, we probably want to cut shapes that are a little bit bigger so that we have less pieces to work with. So when they're putting the puzzle together, they're able to do that without too much difficulty. So like I would now cut probably this whole piece. And you want like more color image, because if you cut and you end up with a blank piece, that's maybe going to be a little bit harder to put together. So here I'm just going to cut this one more piece off here so that I end up with, so here I've cut some like random pieces. But the other idea is that you would take your image and you just cut in, I don't know, about an inch wide strips. And those straight lines, that's good practice for cutting because there's really no lines, so they don't have to worry about, that one was a little bit small. But now I've got these strips that would also be easy to kind of put back in order. So like with these, I'm going to match up the letters. We're going to make them spell out the word to create our picture again. So again, you can kind of modify it to whatever level your student is at. If you want them to cut just the strips, be able to put those together. If you want them to cut the big pieces to make a puzzle that they can put together. And again, if they're drawing a picture on the back, we're working on drawing, we're working on cutting, we're working on those visual motor skills. These are all great. Cutting cardboard is also great just for hand strength when we're cutting because it's a little bit tougher than cutting paper, but it also is less flimsy. So like here I have a piece of paper and it's going to be a little bit tougher for me to hold and to to cut. Whereas if I have a piece of cardboard, it's going to hold its shape a lot better, and it's going to let me hold it from farther away and cut. So definitely try this maybe at home. It's a good way to kind of use up some materials we're kind of recycling and using stuff we have around the house for an activity that's going to work on a lot of great skills.